to the Board of Commissioners monthly media taping. My name is Fabian, Chairman of the Board of Commissioners. I'm joined with Commissioner George Skamai, Commissioner Jason Renshaw, and our special guests today are Sheriff William Rupert and Canine Officer and Handler Theresa Gipson. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
We're kind of used to this, so we're trying to mix things up and bring somebody different on. So we have a different flavor or different personnel throughout county government here with us each month and to update people. So I guess the big thing, and one of our newest employees is Blak, our Canine Officer. So Bill, would you care to share about the history of the program?
Well, the Canine program in the Sheriff's Office started years ago. It was in 1999 or 2000 was when we got our first canine. And that was Canine Galahad, and he was handled by Deputy Bud Floyd. And so the whole time I was there back in the day as a deputy, we always had Galahad there. And then 2006, Galahad had recurring back problems and hip problems, so they retired him in 2006. So we went for a while and without one, and Bud had gotten sick and had some health problems, and he retired. So whenever I come in 2014, that was one of the things we wanted to look at. And in discussion with the previous sheriff, Larry Crawford, he thought that was a good program to have. So July 2015, we put an idea together and some fundraising ideas, and we started raising money for the dog. We had a canine, a Bud Floyd Memorial Golf outing. We had the Canine Crusade in the park, and just numerous donations from the public. We couldn't have done it without the help of all the people that just sent money in. So we were able to raise upwards of $50,000, and that was what we needed to purchase Blak and the canine vehicle and the equipment necessary to do that. So it went really well.
Sheriff, as I recall, you were also able to work with local businesses to receive some discounts and donations. Is that correct?
Were, yeah, George. We were. We worked. I went around and talked to the different organizations or different businesses. One being the Canine Veterinary Clinic, because they did that back in the day when we had Galahad. They donated their services, and the only thing that we had to pay for was just like medication, just whatever to cover their cost. So I went and talked with Doc Lash, and he was more than willing to do it again. So you've been up there and saw Doc Lash, and he's had his appointments and everything with them. Yeah, and they're real good. And what's the Barker Shop is the name of the
grooming?
Yeah, the grooming place. So she gives us a free grooming every month too.
You don't get a trim or anything.
No.
I Look good though, by the way, whatever you're doing.
Well, that was the Barker Shop.
Oh, okay, yeah. You gotta try them out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so we actually we called last October. We made we had enough money. We knew we were going to get it, so we called Shallow Creek Kennels. Theresa and I went around last fall looking at different kennels, different companies that produce dogs. And we decided to go with Shallow Creek Kennels because they're only about an hour away. It was the closest one. A lot of dogs in the city of Pittsburgh come from Shallow Creek, so they have a really, really good reputation. And so we went up and visited. We actually visited a place twice, and then we sent the deposit. And when was your training start? March of this year.
March 21st.
Yeah, so I can let Theresa talk about her training and what she had to go through.
Deputy, I want to ask you a quick question now. Sure. How did you pick Blak out of all the other dogs that what did you see in that dog?
Well, unfortunately, we didn't get to pick, but they picked Blak for us, which was great.
Made it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We basically told them what we wanted in the dog, that we were going to be in the courthouse, that we wanted a more friendly dog, because he's going to be around people all day. So we wanted a dog that, we could have in the courthouse and be around people and, still a motivated dog, the good drive, and they picked Blak out for us, so.
Arranged marriage then.
Yes, yes, and it worked out perfect, so.
What am I looking at?
So Theresa, can you tell us a little bit about your training and what that entailed for you and Blak?
Sure. We had it was a 6-week program, And we had training he's trained in narcotics, bite work, and tracking. So all that 6 weeks, that's what we focused on. And we had about 10 different sites that they had provided for us that we were able to train him at. So we trained anywhere from schools to abandoned buildings to just like, it was called the mansion. It was basically a large house that we trained in. So we trained in so many different, places that they had for us. And they had this, it was like an old rundown building. It was kind of like a boiling room. So they pretty much provided any situation that we would need on the real life. So that was good. And then we trained with other dogs. We did obedience every day. So that was good because, we need that in obedience for the courthouse. So that's about it.
Very well behaved.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
And 6 weeks doesn't seem like a lot to train a dog, but he was actually already trained before I got there. So it was basically training me and him together to make sure we were a good fit. So
That's neat. And bite training, that's just like pursuit and without mauling the...
Just apprehension if you would have a situation where you would have someone and you would have to take into custody or whatever it may be. Once it falls into criteria that you let the dog loose on it, that's his is bite and hold. He will bite and take somebody to the ground and then hold them there
That's amazing.
by pressure.
Yeah.
and he'll only do it on command. So
Really good because no demonstrations are necessary.
Would you like to demonstrate that for us here right now? George, you seem to be very interested in that.
We actually have a bite sleeve at the office that I know Captain Frank Pitzer's been volunteering all the time to wear it. But, so we do go out weekly probably do some training.
That's a thick suit.
Yeah, so it works.
If I'd have known that, we'd have had that schedule.
So how long have you and Blak been on the job here?
we hit the streets at the beginning of April. So we started April, or I'm sorry, May, beginning of May.
May 2nd.
Yeah, it was May 2nd that it was our first day back at the courthouse, and we have to do 16-hour maintenance training every month. So we've been keeping up with that. The Butler Canine handler at the sheriff's office, he's been helping us out with that. So I go and we do narcotics together. We do a lot of tracking, and then Frank Pitzer, he does help with the bite work. So.
And we just filed paperwork through the DEA.
Yes.
And to get our own kit of narcotics. So she has it to train. Right now she's having to go over to Butler and help with, Harry helps with that because we don't have ours, but we just went through their criteria. The DEA come in and looked at our office and saw where we're going to keep things. So then we will get issued a certain amount of each for her to use as training.
Now, are you married? Do you have other pets at home? How did Blak get acclimated to your household? When you
Sure.
married?
I am married, and my husband, he was a vet tech in the Army also, so he was used to dogs like this.
Wow.
So they get along great. And I do have another dog. She's a Pit Bull Husky mix. She's about half his size, and she was kind of afraid of him at first, but after a while she got used to him, and now they play and they work great together. So
That's great.
yeah. Yep, and when we go home, Blak's he's a dog. He's not at work, he just relaxes, we play. So,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
Now, Sheriff, as you know, it was talked a lot about as we were out on the campaign trails running for election, but there's a huge heroin epidemic in the county. So how do you see Blak fitting in, as a drug dog? How are you going to utilize him as a resource for the county?
Well, as a resource for the county, Blak's available 24/7 as far as if any other agencies need a drug dog or need a dog to maybe track a person or do narcotics work. So that's one big way that he's going to help out. I think that the other way that we're planning on him is probably going to be his most important role is going to the schools and educating at a young age. Try to get that driven home to stay away from the drugs. And Theresa and I have done a couple so far. We were at the Belmont Complex for their summer fest, and the kids just light up when they see the dog. So I think it really drives it home that they don't remember me or Theresa being there. When they come home, oh yeah, the sheriff might have visited the school, but when you bring him there and show a little bit of his training and what he can do, it really opens their eyes. And I'm just hoping that entailed with the, the message that we try to put out there that don't try it, just stay away from
Let's say,
it.
Sheriff, you've been part of programs that dissuade our younger generation from using drugs, and you've now had the benefit of doing the same with the dog. And what I hear you saying is there's a definite difference in the way the audience reacts to the message.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, everybody loves a dog,
Yeah,
and it's whenever you get there and you do a little demonstration on what he can find. I think we're hoping it makes the kids think, listen, I can't pull the wool over these guys' eyes like we used to, or we can't hide it, we can't bring it to schools, we can't have it on a bus, because if something happened, we've already been approached to do a school and to sweep it. So when kids come to school, they're going to know, hey, they may be bringing that dog in, he's here. It's not like we don't have to call one in or schedule it. They can pick up the phone at any given point and give us a call, and we'll come down. So I think that's a big thing. It's just I like to use him as a deterrence. He's a tool just like anything else as far as apprehension in that, but he's a really good tool when it comes to the education part of it, I hope.
Hopefully his presence alone will deter.
Actually, the canine presence alone does deter, because even in a situation when you're trying to deal with somebody you're taking with a warrant, they can kind of talk and try to persuade you, but the whole time he's just sitting there staring at them, not caring what they're saying.
Yeah, right.
He's just waiting,
Right.
So it makes people very unnerving when they're trying to get one over on the law, and we have him, so it's
Yeah.
It's a very good point.
You can add another factor to it as far as just, he's an animal too. They have their own mentality too, so you can judge what humans are going to do a little bit. But, he knows, and he'll,
Right.
he's got teeth
Right.
better than we got. So
Exactly.
if I bite on you, you can punch me, but you can hold on.
He's been a great addition to our office. He really has.
Maybe once, I know.
Helps with the morale around the office too,
Yeah,
because
true.
everybody's happy to see him. And even when people come in and out of the courthouse, Theresa works her week at a time at the desk out front, and everybody stops, and you see posts on Facebook and it's that about meeting the new county's drug dog, how nice, and
That's good.
so it was a good thing.
Well, I was reading this morning, I seen that you guys were up at the Belmont. We had started something new with the Belmont, having teen night, and I was reading there that your presence was up there with Blak. Was that Friday?
No, this coming Friday.
This coming Friday? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple of deputies up there for them.
Great.
Yep.
Nice. Well, they did the, at the complex they had, what was
Different Summerfest.
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 Yeah, set up there.
And then the following day, we went to the Y for their splash drive, and we fingerprinted kids, but we had Blak there as well. So it was a lot of people would say, "Oh yeah, we met him yesterday." So it showed that people were making that circuit.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So they were
Well, people
visiting
are
both
aware, and
places.
the more you get them out, the schools, and I think that's a good thing for the community to help out. So
Yep.
it can only help at this point.
Chairman Fabian, I don't want to beat the point to death, but I think it's important for the taxpayers to realize how hard you've worked with fundraising, so that the burden, I hate to say burden, but the cost of maintaining this program and this dog falls primarily on the folks that have been so generous in providing.
Well, it does. It really did, George. I mean, we set a goal. We set a goal of 45,000, I think, is what we sat down and talked about. Well, then we realized, okay, we're going to need a little bit more than that. But with our fundraising efforts last year, before she went to school, we were at 50 or 53,000 is what we raised. And then we just had our second annual Bud Floyd Memorial Golf Outing 2 weeks ago, and we raised about 4,500 through that. So that'll go back into the fund, and every year we're just keeping that money in the fund, because unfortunately, Blak's lifespan as far as a working dog's going to be what they say, 7 to 9 years. So in 7 to 9 years, we're going to be needing looking for another $14,000 for the dog himself. So we want to keep that goal in mind. Hey, if we get this program up and running, everything's doing well, we just want to keep putting, I'm thinking, $10,000 a year, and then you can just keep building it, and you'll have in there whatever you need. Something comes up, there is major surgery or something happens, we'll have some money there for that.
And you won't have to worry about experiencing that lapse. That we did.
Exactly. Hopefully just roll right into the other one. So this Labor Day weekend, Sunday of Labor Day weekend, will be our second annual Canine Crusade, which is a car show, bike show, and live bands in the Gitanic Park. So that was a big fundraiser for us last year.
Yeah. I
Yep.
got to see you there, and I know you guys had both attended as well. And, so it was a very nice event. I love the cars.
Oh, no, the weather
yeah.
we just knocked on wood.
Yeah.
We had super great weather that day, and so it was a good time. So, yeah, that's our plan, is to keep it as tax burden free. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
right.
really want anything coming out of that, my budget, as far as the dog. And we got enough people, like you say. My hat's off to the donors that come out, and as soon as we heard about, or as soon as we said we were going to do it, there was a couple come in the office and sat down, and they said, we want to help, we want to donate towards this dog. This was like the very first week back in July last year, and I said, okay. And I was really kind of unprepared for everything, and they said, now the only thing is, if this doesn't fly, can we have our money back? Or what do you do, you know? And I said, well, absolutely. I mean, we had very good record keeping, so we knew who gave what, and everything was documented. And I said, but I don't want that to happen. I don't think, you know, I said, that's not going to happen,
right.
because we're going to push this to the end. And so they were more than happy. They sat down and wrote me out a $1,000 check on the first one, said, here, we want to put something in there to start it with.
That's great.
So Gitanic Borough donated that. They had did a fund drive for a dog, and it didn't pan out. So what they raised, they were the first donation to open our account, was Gitanic Borough's. So like I said, everybody's helped in. I think they could see we don't have one. You know, when you jump over into Allegheny County, they got like 32 dogs, and we don't have any. And Westmoreland County has a few. So I think the people saw that, hey, if we can get this one, at least it'll cover all of our police agencies in the county.
I was going to say, you stay within our borders too, for the most part, right?
Yeah. Other than, like I said, the
Training.
training, you have to kind of go. Obviously, we don't have another dog to train with, so she has to go where she needs to be. And that was the reason of going with Shallow Creek Kennels as well, because Blak starts having difficulties in one thing or another. They're only an hour up the road. She can spend a day over there and tweak them or whatever.
Seems to be doing fine right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any other questions. Commissioners, do you have any questions for the sheriff? Or Bill, would you like to add anything to what we've already discussed here today?
No, just I appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to showcase him a little bit and explain what he does and can do and who Theresa is, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
And all the work you put in preparing yourself to handle that asset.
Yeah, my hat's off to her, because at 4:30 I don't see him till the next day.
You don't babysit kids, do you? No.
No.
Okay, I just thought that.
Thank you again.
All right.
Thank you.